Hello and welcome to Find Your Voice TV, where we explore the physiological, psychological and creative elements that go into your performances. My name is Emmanuella Grace. I am your vocal coach and a performance expert. Today I'm really excited to welcome into Find Your Voice Studios one of my long-term clients and honestly one of the most hilarious men I've ever met. Stewart Reeve is an incredibly well-trained singer and a prolific performer in both Dracula's The Cabaret Show and Stand and Deliver, the covers band. Now, what makes these guys distinctive is that they don't just show up and sing their hearts out. They do it at an incredibly high standard and in some pretty incredible costumes. Stewart, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
So good.
That's good.
So excited to see you.
Me too, I'm excited to see you too.
Let's talk about what it's like to have to sing with fangs in. And I don't just mean like little fangs, I mean fangs that are like proper vampire-sized
I know.
fangs. We worked on this together so that it got to a stage where actually singing with your fangs felt natural. Let's talk about that. What was that like?
They're really hard to get used to be honest. Everybody who puts them in first always has to bear with when they talk. You've really got to, they're just something you have to wear. You have to wear and get used to them. I've had moments with them. I was laughing last night. One of the girls, she says, "Oh my God, every time I sneeze, one flies out." Like, you have to get used to how they work. I've had moments where I've been singing and one's just fallen out and landed in my mouth.
Just hope you don't breathe it in or swallow it.
No, you have to stick it in your gum and keep going, you know. They're really difficult to sing in. I would probably do 50% of the show with them in.
Yeah.
It's more about creating that illusion that they're in because we're so close to guests at the start of the night. And then after that, people don't even realise that you have them in. That's a little secret, but they're very difficult. They're very difficult. They sometimes I bite down on them when I get stressed and I just have to take them out and just go with, pretending.
One of the things that's incredible about you as a singer, though, is I have never really seen you, even with the 11 hours of rehearsals and then a 3-hour show, never seen you fatigue, which I think is a testament to you essentially putting into practice what we study here at Find Your Voice.
That and probably I sleep 12 hours a day, so plenty of rest. No, I think one of the things about that I've learned early on, especially with fatigue, is really what my body is used to and what it's capable of doing, what makes me tired. 9 times out of 10, it's usually the stress or the anxiety or something about performing or doing something on the last minute. So really controlling that I feel has reduced my fatigue in a big way. Also, there's a number of warm downs and warm ups that you've taught me that have definitely helped along the way. But it's fatigue. I don't even think of fatigue as a thing anymore. I try not to think about it because I think that makes me fatigued.
Yeah, thinking makes you tired.
I think it makes me tired. It hurts my brain.
Okay, so what are your top 3 tips for people out there who kind of want to start performing as a professional for looking after themselves so that they don't wear out too soon?
To look after themselves, you really do have to work out what works for you. I think as a performer, you really need to take a step back. You need to look at every element from the way that you approach things mentally to the way you approach things physically. You need to be really fit. You need to be in the moment every time you perform. I really do think it's whatever works for you. Obviously getting going to classes and doing lessons plays a big role in learning how to deal with those sorts of things. But yeah, you really just need to take it one step at a time.
And fitness, you mentioned that as one of the points that's important for us to look after ourselves as professional performers. I have worked with you through some shows where you've done some pretty phenomenal physical feats, like singing in stilts.
Oh my God, singing
on
in
stage.
stilts. High heels, oh my God.
High heels.
I know, you with every rehearsal period, you spend a good 4 weeks just going, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get through 12 months of singing this song or working in stilts or singing upside down or being in some ridiculous costume and having to kneel for the entire performance. You get show fit.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing it so often. I mean, I don't work out. I don't want to lift the heavy thing and put it back down again every single day. I just want to get out and do it. So, you know, you do become show fit. Yeah. That's me.
Right. So, Stu, how many shows do you do a week on average?
On average, we would do at least 5 to 6 shows a week. Where
with Draculas,
with Draculas, with Stand and Deliver, there might be an extra 2 or 3 shows added in there as well. Most of the time, the Drac show is running from Tuesday until Saturday. We do the same show for 12 months. In October, we rehearse that show. Plus, we do the show at night time if we've still got cast members continuing on. And then with Stand and Deliver, I would also have maybe, you know, it could be anywhere from 1 job to 3 or 4 every single month. Yeah. So it's really quite an intense thing. And the Stand and Deliver gigs are never booked in advance. It's always last minute. So sometimes my workload can go from very little to a lot in such a short time. Literally a couple of hours, it can change.
So before you were with me at Find Your Voice, you had other teachers and that didn't work out. What were the things that kind of gave you a flashing light that it was time to, or it was okay to ask for something different or something new from your teacher?
I think it was the turning point for me was that a lot of the teachers that I had seen in the past were really about just get the note out, you know, just sing it. There was no sort of physical element of how the instrument worked or how to take care of it, or even from a psychological point of view, how everything came together. I think that was the turning point for me, because I found that the teachers that I had in the past, I jumped through about maybe 4 or 5 teachers, because they all taught in the same style, but I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere with it. So definitely the way that you've taught me how to sing and take care of the instrument and how it works is definitely made a huge difference to the way I perform night after night.
Yeah, and we're creatures of habit, that's true. And I've seen you go through a similar cognitive cycle every time a new show comes up, and then you're kind of like, how are we going to do this? And then, I don't know how to do this. And I'm like, well, yes, you do. And then the next step is usually, I'm bored.
Yeah.
How do I stay engaged?
Yes, I know.
I need a challenge.
I feel like in the last probably 2 or 3 years, I experienced that in a big way. And coming into this show and certainly taking on a new role such as, say, cast manager, it's definitely changed my point of view of how I need to deal with those things. I can't be, I can't allow myself that luxury or be selfish anymore to go, I'm bored with this, I don't want to do that anymore, oh, this is too hard, oh, this is too much. I kind of have to, I'm looking after a group of other people now who are experiencing those same things. So I have to take that away from myself now and try and help them with it. So I do have little flashes in the pan of, oh, I'm bored, or oh, I'm this, that. But every night is so different that I just have to throw myself into it, and they're usually the nights that are the best. And I just have to get on with it now. I can't do that anymore.
Keeping it real.
Yeah.
So what are some of your tips for recovering from when things go wrong on stage, in a live situation?
Well, in cabaret or in any sort of, I think especially cabaret, you get away with it a lot more, is just owning it. The audience will forgive you, but it's more about claiming that moment and going, well, we stuffed that up, or that joke didn't work, or here's another one you might not like, or like it's all about really just going with it. And I found that as a performer, I used to hold back on all those things, especially I was in a hosting role. I was meant to do all those things, but I used to hold back from them. And I found the turning point for me was creating a filter in my mind and going with what that filter said. So
trusting yourself.
Yeah, I constantly have this battle of, can I say that now? Is it too early to say that? Can I get away with that? How do I cover that? Do I point that out?
And that's a byproduct of just doing it over
and over. Just doing it over and over again.
Mm.
And I think that's where I get rid of all the boredom and all the stress and anxiety. Is not going out there thinking, what happens if something goes wrong tonight? I'm usually going out going, give me something that's going to go wrong. I hope something goes wrong because
Oh,
I have to be the funny guy, so I have to claim it, you know what I mean? Which I make something out of it. It's not fair on everybody else, but if it's just me doing a solo and, you know, a song and the lights go out, well, I have to own that moment because the audience is going, well, what's going on?
Yeah, Stu, you're a wonder. I love working with you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Emmanuella Grace from Find Your Voice TV, signing off.